please repost this. I had a vision, and the vision was of Jesus. He was going from door to door. He was literally going from door to door. Everyone's door. Everybody's door. And it was everybody in the whole world. And he went to their door. And he was knocking so urgently, like he was just knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking. And there were some people that were opening the door and letting him come in. And then there was some people that they saw him, they peeked and they saw him knocking, but they hid. They hid inside their homes and they said, "Don't answer the door. He's out there. He's knocking. We're gonna hide." And then there was some people that said, "We see him knocking, but we're just gonna ignore him. We're just gonna keep watching TV. We're just gonna keep on getting drunk." And so Jesus kept going from door to door, hoping that somebody would open the door and let him inside. But there was way more people that didn't let him in. And there was only a few. There was only a few that let him in. And then, so when he finally came back, when he revealed himself to the whole world, there was people that started, and they came and they were knocking on the gates of heaven. And they were knocking and they were knocking because they could see the demons behind them. And they were reaching out for their ankles, trying to pull them in. And so they were knocking on the doors of heaven for Jesus to save them and help them. And when Jesus came to the gate, he saw all the people. He saw all the people that didn't open the door for him. And he told those people that didn't let him in, he said, "Why would you expect me to open the gate of heaven for you when you were alive? I was knocking at your door, but you ignored me and you did not let me into your home. But now you're knocking on the gates of heaven, expecting me to let you in. I'm not going to let you in because you didn't let me in." And the people were all crying because they knew that they didn't let Jesus in. And so when they tried to get into heaven, Jesus saw them and he did not open the gates for them, but he turned around and he joined all the people in heaven that did let him into their home. Please, repost this. Please. Because there's a lot of people that think they're going to heaven, but they're really not. Are you gonna let God in? He's knocking at the door right now. He's knocking at your door right now. He's knocking so urgently. He's pounding on the door. At this point, he's pounding. Are you gonna let him in? Or are you going to hide? Are you going to ignore him? Are you gonna see him and not open the door? There's a lot of people that are not gonna open the door. There's a lot of people that are gonna hide. Which person are you gonna be? I had a very terrifying dream the other night, and I please hope that you listen to what I'm about to say right now. I'm about to tell you about the dream that I had. Please repost this even after this whole video. People don't know. They don't know. They don't know. Anyways, it was like I was sent below. It was a dark place. There seemed like the only light that was covering the whole place was a bonfire, but it was in the distance. There was no light there. It was just like a glimpse of like a fire that was going on. And there was smoke coming up from the ground. It seemed like I was like in a volcano or something. And the ground was hard, like rock. It was just hard rocks, and there was just thorns everywhere. There was scorpions on the ground crawling. You could see worms and snakes slithering everywhere. And I had no shoes on. And I was trying to like fight off like what was below me. It was hot. Like I was walking on coals. And I could hear screaming everywhere. There was just the most terrifying screams that you could ever imagine. And I kept walking forward, and smoke was just rising, and you could barely see anything. And finally the smoke kind of cleared, and I could hear where the screaming was coming from. And there was this big mountain that was covering. It was literally like crushing all these people. Like imagine like millions of people getting crushed by just like this huge mountain, but they're just caught in the crevice of two rocks, and people were like stuck, and I could see hands trying to reach out, and the dust kept flying out of where they were stuck, and I could hear them crying, and they were calling out for help, and they were saying, "Help me, help me," and I was just right there. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, you guys are stuck. I can't get you guys out. I can't get you guys out. And they were like, we can't breathe in here. We're suffocating in here. It's so hot. The dust is, we're swallowing the dust, and it's, everybody in here is stuck, and they're dying. And I was like, hold on, I'm gonna go try to get some help. So I turned around and I went, and when I turned around, there was nothing but prisons, like just concrete prisons everywhere. They had numbers on the prison walls. There were just gray concrete walls. There was barbed wire fences everywhere, and I could see these people, and they were walking like almost in like a military line, and they had their heads down, and they were crying, and they had like a chain necklace. It was like a chain. It was like a heavy chain that had like a huge wooden sign, and it had splinters all over the sign, and it said all of their crimes that they committed, and it was calling them names. There was names like liar and murderer and deceiver and womanizer and every type of crime, and the signs kept getting more into detail about their crimes. The signs had people that sold their soul to the devil. There were signs that said, I sold my soul, and look where I'm at now. And these people were crying. They were crying, they were trembling, and they were going to the prison, like they were about to go inside the prison. And what's even more is I saw celebrities that you probably look up to, that you idolize. I saw celebrities there. I'm not going to say any names, but I saw celebrities there, and they had chains around their neck, and they said hurtful things about these people, and they were crying, and they wouldn't stop crying. And I was like, I need some help. Can anybody help me? There's people stuck under this mountain, and they can't breathe. And nobody was acknowledging. Everybody was just crying, and they didn't even hear what I said. And when I woke up, God was like, that's where people are going if they don't turn to me with all their hearts in this moment. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice, underneath the sound of my voice, turn away from all your sins and give your life to Jesus. Pray and fast and break your spirit down through prayer and fasting, and come to God, because I don't want you to be in that place that I know as hell. It wasn't just a dream. He wanted me to tell you about this dream. It wasn't just, that's where people are going to be going, and they're going to be trapped. And they're not going to be just trapped for 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 3,000 years, 7,000 years. They're going to be trapped for trillions of eternities, forever. They're never going to be able to escape. If you go there, you're never going to be able to escape. Please repost this. Repost this.